evening, everyone. I'm Jamie, and welcome to this webinar. It's called Healthy Heart, Healthy Mind, brought to you by Unity. You're on Unity's Facebook page. Look around you, by the way. Check out their other posts as well. And of course, would like for you to like and share this live webinar happening because we have $1,010 Unity vouchers to give away. So, you might want your family and friends to also get in on that great deal. $10 Unity e-vouchers that you can get just by being part of this webinar. I'll give you some details in just a bit. So today's topic, healthy heart, healthy mind. As usual, we have a panel of experts here ready to share the information and insights that you need. I don't know about you, but I'm at that age where a healthy heart and a healthy mind are both very important things. And not only is it important for us, it's important for our parents, our children as well. Brain health, right? That's what people talk about, and also mental well-being. Those are big words being thrown around a lot these days as well. So really glad for this topic, healthy heart, healthy mind. And of course, later during the course of the webinar, if you have any questions, just type in your questions in the comment section and we'll get our doctors, our experts to answer them as best as they can. So like and share this video, and I'll give you details about the $10 Unity vouchers. But in the meantime, right, as we are waiting for everyone to come into this webinar, let's do a very quick poll here, okay? We're going to flash on the screen 2 topics, and let me know, which topic are you most interested in? Is it number 1, heart health, or is it number 2, brain health? So once again, which topic are you most interested in? Is it 1, heart health, or is it 2, brain health? Let us know. It's just for fun. There's no prize if you're wondering. But we're giving away the $10 voucher, okay, very soon, right after this poll. Which topic are you most interested in? Is it heart health or is it brain health? Let us know under the comments section right now, and we'll flash the results in a bit. Once again, we would like for you to like and share this video. Like and share this video because we have $1,010 Unity vouchers to give away, and it's very, very simple. When I tell you how simple, you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so simple! I'm going to tell all my friends and family about it. I'm going to text them right now." In fact, you can start texting them already, okay? Because we're going to do it in just a bit. So, which topic are you most interested in? Let's get the results. Number 2. Both. Oh, both. Both topics. Most people are saying both. Okay. Oh, if only I can possibly go on my Facebook right now and check out the comments, but don't excuse me. I've got a crew here to round up the answers. So you guys are interested in both heart and brain health, and I would have to say that is probably the best answer because they're both important, very important. But what else is important? The $10 voucher, right? So let's give you the details of how you can win that. Very simple. We just want you, right, to look for a Google form link in the comment section, fill in your name and your email address. That's it. And we will email you the $10 e-voucher. It's for a minimum spend of $35 on health supplements and personal care products at Unity stores. And this voucher is valid till the 12th of June. All right. So once again, we are giving away a $10 Unity e-voucher to the first 100 participants who fill up their name and their email address in the Google form pinned in the comment section. That's why I wanted you to share with your family and friends, because if, like, for example, your daughter has an email address, she can also get a $10 voucher. Your husband can also get a $10 voucher. I mean, just get him to go on Facebook right now, even if it's right beside you, We've got 1,000 of those to give away, okay? So fill in your name and your email address in the Google form link. All right, so there you have it. I mentioned a little bit about how we have a panel of experts, right? So we are just about ready to call upon our very first expert, and he is a doctor. It's Dr. Kenneth Ng, and Dr. Kenneth Ng is a cardiologist from Novena Heart Center. He's actually right beside me right now. He's going to share with us on cholesterol and heart health. Dr. Kenneth, everybody says that, heart health is equally important as brain health as well. So let's start with heart health. Take it away.
Thank you, Jamie. Great to be here. Next slide, please. So we're going to talk about cholesterol and heart disease today. As you know, many patients always come up to me and they all, Dr. Ng, there's those, I don't believe in this cholesterol and heart disease problem, and they read all about it on the website. They read all the books, and they always say that, well, that there seem to be no connection, so I'm not worried about cholesterol. Next. And we always use the words cholesterol and lipids very interchangeably, but just this diagram just to inform us that lipids is actually a much larger group of chemicals or particles, including steroids, waxes, oils, uh, phospholipids, whatever. And cholesterol is just one component of it. So if you want to be more specific, then I think we should just refer to cholesterol rather than lipids. Next. And when we do the cholesterol profile in our blood test, usually the results are presented in such a manner. You have total cholesterol, you have the LDL, HDL cholesterol, which is the good cholesterol, the LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol, and the triglyceride, which is the oil and fat level in our blood. Next. And we know that cholesterol is mainly made in the liver, right? So only 20% of the cholesterol that's floating in our blood is from our diet, whatever we eat. So technically speaking, whatever you eat doesn't really make a huge impact on the level of cholesterol in our blood. That's why the American Dietary Association actually removed cholesterol daily requirements as one of their uh, daily cholesterol levels as one of their daily requirements. Next. And I think the evidence is indisputable that cholesterol is very strongly associated with heart disease. As you can see from this study, Framingham Heart Study in the 1980s, you can see that the higher cholesterol level, the higher incidence of coronary heart disease. So I think, and since then there have been many, many studies that help to corroborate this fact. Next. The length of exposure to this cholesterol is also important. It's not just high today, but if you over a lifetime your cholesterol remains high, then you're definitely at 3 to 4 times higher risk of getting coronary heart disease. As you can see from the next slide, if you have a lifetime of low cholesterol levels, you are 3 to 4 times lower risk of getting coronary heart disease compared to a person who has chronically very high cholesterol levels. Next. And this diagram basically tells us how this cholesterol causes problems to our arteries. You can see that the cholesterol that is floating in our blood, once it starts to build up in the walls of our arteries, then it will slowly form plaques. And these plaques will slowly grow in size over the years and slowly choke up and block up the arteries. So that this whole process will take years to decades to happen. So as you can see, that this process is also sort of like a sign of aging as well, a process of aging. So we may not be able to avoid it. That's why we really have to be very conscious of our cholesterol levels. Next. And the fact is proven that a lot of studies show that if we are able to reduce the bad cholesterol, for example, if you are able to reduce it by 1 millimoles per liter, you can get a 19% decrease in death from coronary heart disease, a 12% decrease in death. There's no change in the death from cancer, which is always a concern with people taking cholesterol medications, is whether they are at a high risk of developing cancer. Well, all the studies don't show that there's actually any higher risk of developing cancer. There's a 17% decrease in stroke, a 26% decrease in heart attacks, and 24% decrease in procedures like stenting and bypass surgeries. So you can see the benefits of lowering cholesterol are there, definitely. Next. And now we have the technology to see how healthy our arteries are. Um, in the past, we couldn't really tell whether our arteries have been affected by the cholesterol that we have. So now we can actually have a look at any particular point in time of our life, how healthy our arteries are. Next. And the techniques we have are, well, one is ultrasound, right? When you do an ultrasound of the arteries going to our brain, which we call the carotid arteries, we can see whether the walls are thickened, whether there are any cholesterol plaques developing. Another technique that we can use is using a CT scan. We use the CT scan to measure the calcium score, the amount of calcium deposit in walls of our arteries. That also tell us how healthy our arteries are. Next. So what is a normal bad cholesterol level? This normal level differs for different people. It depends on the risk. All right. So if we have very high risk, then our normal level our target bad cholesterol level should be less than 1.4 millimoles per liter. If you are high risk, then it should be less than 1.7. If you have moderate risk, then we should be less than 2.6. And if we are at low risk, then the bad cholesterol level should be less than 3. Next. So how do we lower this bad cholesterol level? There are many methods of lowering. Of course, naturally, you have diet. As I mentioned earlier to Jamie, foods like tofu, oats, vegetables help to lower the bad cholesterol level. They can each do it by about 10%. We have also supplements, right, such as hypocol, which actually blocks our liver from producing bad cholesterol. And if we are at high risk of developing heart disease, then we have the stronger stuff that the doctors would have to prescribe, things like statins, PCSK9 inhibitors, cholesterol absorption inhibitors. So at this juncture, I'll just end my talk. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks so much, Kenneth. Okay, you've mentioned the things that we can eat that can improve our cholesterol level and decrease it, like tofu and vegetables. What about the foods to avoid so that we don't bring it back up again?
Yes. So if you are trying to lower our cholesterol level, then we should try to avoid foods or eat less of the foods that increase the bad cholesterol. So foods that have very high bad cholesterol, things like egg yolk, liver, the brain. So those are the stuff.
Brain?
Yeah, I mean, like,
who eats brains?
You know, if you eat the prawn head or the crab head, those are brain.
Okay.
Right? And any roll is the egg, right? So fish roll, crab roll, are all egg yolks, right? And then, of course, certain type of shellfish like oysters, scallops, these have also higher cholesterol levels than squid as well. So if you can avoid eating too much of this type of food, not every day, not every meal, I guess that will help to reduce the bad cholesterol level as well. As I mentioned earlier in my slide, that if the diet only contributes about 20% to our bad cholesterol, so it's not a major diet. So diet is not a major component for our bad.
That's so scary because that means you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah,
your body just produces a lot of cholesterol.
Yes,
right?
Unfortunately, if your body produces a lot of cholesterol, even if you starve to death, you may still not have a low cholesterol level.
Oh, that's okay. So that's why you're here talking about supplements, because I noticed in your slide you mentioned hypocol, and hypocol is red yeast rice. Right?
Yes.
Tell us more about it and how it can lower cholesterol.
Well, I guess the fermentation process of this red yeast rice actually produces a chemical in the chemical that's very similar to the drug that we call statins.
Okay.
Actually, they were a precursor of all the drugs that we use nowadays to lower bad cholesterol.
Okay.
And was discovered in the 60s by a group of Australian and Japanese scientists. So what the drug companies have done is that they have taken this natural substance and they have chemically modified it to become more potent.
Okay.
So hypocol is basically a weaker form of medication that can lower bad cholesterol.
And the great thing is I can see that it says it's 100% natural.
Yes.
I think that's cool.
Yes.
So, the last time I went for a health check, I was very surprised, but my cholesterol levels was like just a little bit outside of the normal range, and I was actually really shocked because I thought if you exercise and eat healthily, you'll be okay. But that's why I'm not surprised to hear that only 20% of diet contributes to your cholesterol levels. What about exercise? Is that good?
Well, exercise is good, but the main benefits of exercise is to raise the good cholesterol level,
Okay.
the HDL cholesterol, which is the good cholesterol. So if you exercise a lot, that will be very high. And that sometimes helps counteract the bad effects of the bad cholesterol.
Okay, and of course, that's why supplementation is very important. We will actually share more about the products later, and there are discounts on all the products that we're talking about today in the webinar. But in the meantime, thank you so much, Dr. Kenneth Ng.
Thank you.
I'm going to kick him out of the scene because we're going to invite another expert to come in, and the next topic is going to be something that relates to, of course, the webinar's topic today: healthy heart, healthy mind. Once again, this is a Facebook Live on Unity's Facebook page. Please like and share this Facebook Live video. And we have just heard from our first speaker, Dr. Kenneth, on cholesterol, heart health. If you have any questions for the doctor, please type them in the comment section below, and we will try to answer them as best as we can at the end of the webinar where we have a Q&A section. Help us to like and share this video. Like I said, we also have those $10 Unity vouchers. Very simple. Just fill in your name and your email address in the Google form link below in the comment section. And if you're within the first 1,000 people to do so, we will give you that $10 Unity e-voucher. It's valid until the 12th of June at all Unity stores, and it's on a minimum spend of $35 net on health supplements and personal care products at Unity. All right, my next speaker is sitting in the hot seat already, and she is none other than Dr. Melanie Phuah, general practitioner from NutriMed Clinic. Nice to have you with us. Melanie is talking about brain health and also improving your kids' learning abilities, which I think all parents tune in really want to know. So, Melanie, just begin your presentation right away. Tell me how I can make my kids smarter.
Thank you for having me here, and thank you for listening in. Good evening, everyone. So let's start the talk. First slide, please. So I'm here to talk about a topic known as nutritional psychiatry. And besides that, I'll also focus on two supporting roles ingredients such as omega-3s and probiotics. So basically, our brain, as we know, it works constantly, non-stop. And to keep it going, we need to feed it right. So therefore, what you eat matters a lot because it can affect your structure, your function of your brain, and also ultimately your mood, your mental health. Simply put it, nutritional psychiatry is basically looking at good food, helping your brain to also have good mood. So next slide, please. Why are we talking about nutritional psychiatry? I think it's because mental health is a very big global burden of disease, and therefore we need to look at tools on how we can help to ease this issue. It is something that starts very early. As early as 14 years old, mental health is really established in 50% of the people. And this COVID infection that we fought recently, and we're still in the process of it, has unfortunately added 25% more to this problem. Therefore, if we can have tools to help this better, then why not look at food as a supporting role in this treatment plan? Next slide. Next. So there was a good study that was done in 2018. It's basically the SMILES diet, and the SMILES diet was the first randomized controlled trial to show that our food we eat can affect our mood. In this study, they basically they put a group of patients who are known to have depression, that's already undergoing medications and counseling, and they found that 32% of them in the group of the modified Mediterranean diet went into full remission. Next slide. So it's not easy to visualize the food pyramid as I've shown earlier into our dining table plate. This is what I use in my clinical practice to show my patients what are the important ingredients you should put on their dinner plate and what proportion it should be. Therefore, as you can see here, vegetables play a very big role here, and then there's whole grains and your healthy proteins, and the other things are like water, exercise, and olive oil. Next slide, please. So how does our brain and our gut communicate? As I said, what we eat matters to the brain, and I'll show it on the next slide. Basically, what we eat consists of fiber. after all the good nutrients have been absorbed by our small intestine, what's left that goes into your large intestines are fiber. Fiber is something that your gut microbiome in the large intestine likes. From there, it will metabolize it and produce important ingredients known as short-chain fatty acids. Three main ones, the propionate, butyrate, and acetate, are the ingredients that talk to your brain. It communicates via the bloodstream or by the vagus nerve using transmitters such as GABA and serotonin. From there, it does a lot of things in the brain to help healthy function, healthy structure to be maintained, anti-inflammatory too. Next slide. So what happens if we eat something that isn't healthy? What happens if we use the wrong cooking methods like more fry, barbecue, very high dry heat temperature cooking? We can produce a substance known as ages, and ages is very damaging to the brain, not only the brain, I would say the whole human body, because it causes more oxidative stress, glycation, and inflammation. Next slide. In summary, I would say our brain not only depends on good diet to function well. I would like to introduce you to one ingredient known as the BDNF, the brain-derived neurotrophic factor. I call it the best friend factor for our brain. So BDNF depends on our diet a lot because 60% of it is influenced by what we eat. But a good sleep will help. Exercise, if you start at any age, will also help. And then if you manage your stress, it also helps. In fact, I also believe that playing brain stimulation game like mahjong, crossword puzzles, will also help this factor to be better. Like next slide. Therefore, as I've talked earlier, I believe that it's not just diet, but your lifestyle will also help your brain to have better function and better mood. Next slide. Okay, we talk about omega-3s now because, as I mentioned, they have an important role to play for brain health. The next slide. So just as we look into the Mediterranean diet to help with brain health and mental health, this study basically was the first randomized controlled trial to show that adding omega-3 to Mediterranean diet helps anxiety to be reduced in the subjects that were studied in the diet. Next slide. What about probiotics? There are many in the market for probiotics, but a particular range of psychobiotics are probiotics that helps your brain to a better mental health state. A few subspecies has been isolated, such as Lactobacillus plantarum, Lactobacillus rhamnosus, Enterococcus, Streptococcus. And these are the ones that we know will be in our digestive system to help our brain to have better function through the pathway that I mentioned earlier. Next slide. These are generally a few other ingredients that I'm just going to show that will help to feed our brain right. And besides just a backbone of a good diet, these are helpful ingredients in our diet to help mental health. Next slide. So the holistic approach is what I believe that will help our mental health to be better. The diet and a good sleep, exercise, and medications, and also psychological support. The conventional treatment helps. Thank you.
Thanks, Melanie. I'll tell you what, having a good diet, what you said, the Mediterranean diet, it's not easy, right? Because we're not used to eating like legumes, and we're not really that used to eating seeds and nuts. And for those of us who like our chicken rice and our curry and all that, what do you recommend we eat for better brain health?
It's not easy to make choices now in the 21st century because we're very tempted by delicious food and
everything is fried. I have a fried egg every day. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, tomorrow I'm going to have to boil it. I'm not going to fry it.
Yes.
And also, yes, Dr. Kenneth, not eat the egg yolk. It's so difficult.
It's challenging these days to really know what to eat. But I think it's majority of the time we eat a healthier diet that will help. Of course, we need to enjoy our food. So, we need, which is why I feel to a certain extent, there's a gap that we might be able to fill up with a bit of health supplements just to top up for our well-being.
That's what I was going to say, because in the 21st century, obviously, we have so much, all kinds of food, and we're so spoiled. It's a foodie paradise here in Singapore, but the 21st century also brings with it lots of technology. So we have supplementation to help us. For example, I don't know about you parents, but I just can't make my kids eat fish that much. They're just not into it. But some of these supplements can help, right? We've got some of these on the table right now. So, for example, let's start with the Ephamol. Ephamol is a brand brought in by Active Health, and the great thing about Ephamol is that they have more than 350 published medical studies on the products. So maybe we start with the brain formula. Yeah.
If I were to look at supplements, there's certain ingredients that I would like to highlight. And in the Ephamol range, of course, you focus a lot on DHA, and that helps a lot with brain health. And some of the products here, they also have very important ingredients like p-serine, phosphatidylserine. They complement each other because they help with the signals of communication in the brain. And on top of that, not just omega-3s has anti-inflammatory, antioxidative function to protect your brain from those bad chemical processes that I've talked about earlier.
And all of these products here have omega-3, right?
They all
I
have
can see that.
omega-3.
Because so you've got
emphasis on DHA.
okay. What's DHA again? Sorry.
It's another type of omega-3, more for brain health.
Oh, I see. Okay, it's good that we have you here. So you've got Ephamol has an active memory formula.
Mhm.
This is just maintenance of brain function. It's got ginkgo as well for memory, and then there's one for kids. DHA drops, omega-3 DHA drops for kids. It says here that it's not fishy. That's very important. No fishy taste. It's a natural lemon flavor. I don't know how they did that by not making it fishy, because most omega-3 oils I have. Yeah. And what do we have here?
Over here, as I mentioned before, there's some psychobiotics that helps with mental health. There's been undergone a few clinical studies, and one particular one that's been studied is Lactobacillus plantarum. And I believe in this product, the multibiotics line formula, they have that exact ingredient.
Okay. So just basically, for those of you who don't know, there are different strains, many different strains of good bacteria, and different strains help different things, right? So what is that strain called again?
Lactobacillus plantarum.
Plantarum. For those of you who like to Google, right? You can go and Google it. Basically, it's just a strain of probiotics that's good for your memory. That's mind, right? Mind, good for your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Melanie, thanks very much for answering our questions. And I'm sure the webinar participants have more questions. So we have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. If you have any questions for Dr. Melanie, Phuah, just go under the comment section and type it in right now. And type it in as soon as possible, because we're collating all the questions right now for the Q&A section later. Okay, and so once again, a big thank you to Dr. Melanie Phuah. If we are also giving away those $10 Unity e-vouchers. Yes, very simple. Just tell us what your name is and your email address. Click on the Google form in the comment section and give it to us, and we will give you those the $10 Unity vouchers. If we still have them, we only have 1,000 to give away. All right. Having changed places already, I have with me Miss Tess Guo, and she's going to share with us on the aging process of the brain. Tess is an accredited practicing dietitian from Australia, and she is also the marketing manager of Blackmore's. And Tess is going to share with us on brain health for a healthy aging population. Tess, take it away.
Hi, thanks, Jamie. So, hi, thank you for having me here today. So, before we go on some serious learning with our brain, let's have some fun. So, I'm gonna have 2 questions here for the audience to guess, and then if you get the right answer, so you can feel free to type your answer in the chat box, and our crew member will take a screenshot, and then whoever appear the first one with the right answer. And then please feel free to contact Unity Crew, and then we will manage to give you a free product from us, our newly launched brain record to help your brain health. So let's get started.
Okay, first question.
So how heavy is our brain in average? Let's guess.
Some people probably know this, because there's some people who know that.
Googling, please.
They will Google. They're Googling right now. Speed.
Yeah. Okay.
The first correct answer, okay? Are we doing that? First correct answer?
What do you think, then?
Me? Does it differ for different people?
Yeah, good try. Yes.
It
but
does.
on average.
On average. Oh.
Average,
Yeah,
different.
I would just go with like 1.3 kg.
Yes,
Around-
yes, that's the right
I'm
answer.
right. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So
Good try.
we'll select the correct answer from the comments right now. What's your second question?
Okay, let's try second question. So how much fat do we have in our brain?
I didn't even know we have fat in our brain. Is it good to have fat in our brains? Good or bad?
If
Do we
you
need it?
listen to Dr. Melanie
Yeah.
mentioned, you probably would know that answer. Yes.
She's good. She's nodding. Dr. Melanie is nodding.
Yes.
So it's good to have fat.
Okay, so what's the percentage?
Percentage? I have no idea. Does it differ for like different people, skinny and fat people?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Like if you exercise, can you lose the fat in your brain? Or is that not a good question?
Let's get the answer.
I'm gonna go with 20%. Is it
We have
correct?
a little bit. We have actually much more fat.
Much more. Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
So the correct.
So don't say 20%, guys.
Okay. The correct answer is 60%.
60% of my brain is fat.
Yes.
Wow.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
Actually, 60% of fat in our brain made our brain the fattest organ in our body. And
Seems
but
like it.
those fat are really important to our brain health.
Okay.
So, okay, the winners.
Yeah. So the winner for the first question was Kun Chu. Congratulations, Kun Chu. And Kun Chu is walking away with one of your Blackmores. This one, brain recall, right?
We don't need it.
He probably doesn't need it. Okay, give it to me, Kun Chu. I need it. Although I did get that question right, though. We're Fam Salanda. You are the winner for the second question. We're Fam Salanda. Okay. Congratulations.
Please save that for our.
So what was the answer? Oh, it was 60%, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yes. You see,
Okay.
I need your supplements. I've forgotten that you've given us the answer.
That will help you.
Anyway, congratulations, guys. Congratulations.
Cool. Okay. We have some fun now. We need to do some serious learning with our brain. So let's talk about our brain health today. Yeah. So as you can see on the slides that I have showing you here, the pink part of our body is the central nervous system. So I usually tell my patient or my customer, say this is the shift. So basically what it does is it processes information and it analyzes information and it makes instructions. And then the blue part of our body is called peripheral nervous system. So what happened is basically you can understand is the army, the soldier. So what happened is when the brain actually it consists of sensory neurons and the motor neurons. So sensory neurons basically by receiving, so how you taste and how you feel, and then how you smell. All this when you receive information, and it will send the brain to process. And then what happened is the brain will make instructions for the motor neurons to give you a mood. For example, when we touch something really hot, and then you will feel it's hot, and then your brain will process. Let's move your hand away. So then your brain will send signals to your hand, say, okay, let's remove my hand from this hot object. So that's what's going on. So that's why you can see our brain is actually processing information every single moment. So it's very important that a lot of decisions and a lot of thinking and analysis all happen in our brain, and it supports our work, our family, our daily jobs, and etc. So it's really, really important. So what happens? So how does that process work? I just explained. So what happens, as you can see on this slide, on the left-hand side is our little neurons. So but basically what happened is you can see one end has like a tree-looking shape. That's actually where we receive information. And then it has a long tail. That's where axon, which is where we pass on information to the next neurons. So in our body, we have billions of this type of neurons that actually pass information to complete that process I just talked about it. So and on the right hand side, you can see that image. So between neurons, and then there is the gaps. So basically, the neurons has to pass information from one neurons to next neurons. And then, so how the information get passed is through neurotransmitters, and then there's a signal happening. So It's a very complicated process, and mistakes can happen and things can go wrong. So what happens is while we get older, there's more chance for this process to make mistakes. So the information gets wrong. So that's what happens. So basically, there's a lot of factors affecting our brain health, affecting that process. I just talk about it. For example, number one is aging. I just talk about when we get older, there's a lot of, when we process information can be slower. Number two is stress. So currently we are in a high stress society. We work late. Information is going faster than a lot of time we can process. So we're constantly under a high stress environment. Number three, smoking. Good that it's not common. That's so common in Singapore anymore. So smoking definitely affects our brain health. Number four, poor nutrition. So basically, as you heard just then, both doctor mentioned about how nutrition and diet is really important for our brain and heart. So it's same. So poor nutrition can affect our brain health as well. So number five is dehydration, actually. So it's quite important in Singapore because it's really hot here and we can get dehydrated fairly easy. And you will notice when you're really hot, you feel lethargy, your brain does not want to work, and then you don't want to process information. So it's actually very important to stay well hydrated, stay in aircon. That's why Lee Kuan Yew says aircon is really important. Increase productivity of Singaporeans. So I really believe in that. Okay, so what happens? Remember I said the number one factor is aging. So what happens when we're getting old? To our brains, there is a positive change and there is a negative change. Let's talk about positive first. So what happens is when we're getting older, actually older adult has more extensive vocabularies. They have a greater knowledge on the depths of making words. Actually, you notice usually we say, when you're getting older, you're wiser, and then you have more knowledge. And because you also have learned from a lifetime of accumulated knowledge and experience. But then on the other side, you notice older people are speaking slower. The speed of them processing information is slower. And then they can still learn, but you realize they learn things are much slower, like technology. For them, it's shocking. They just can't cope with it. But I have seen some older people that is able to slowly pick up and not become a master user. So it happens. And then certain brain regions, for example, like I just mentioned, between neurons, the communications are getting messed up, and they might not be as effective. So that's what when happened. You remember the neuron structure I talked to you, and actually every neurons has a protective layer called myelin sheet. So think about the wires in our house. So the wires, we all have this insulated layers to protect from short circuits. So you don't want to put two naked wires together because it can have short circuit. Same as our brain. So when you're getting older, your myelin sheet are getting thinner or there's a damage. And what happens is your brain can get short circuit and the information doesn't get passed on as correctly as it should be. So, and then the third one is you will notice your brain blood flow will reduce. So, as you're getting older, there's restrictions of your blood flow to certain organs. It's quite common, and certain disease can cause that as well. So that happens as well. Inflammations as well, which happens, when we go through, especially today's world, there's a lot of chronic disease. And then when happens chronic disease, there is a suboptimal, there's an inflammation, underlying inflammation going on in our body, which can damage our brain health as well. This all happens while we're getting older. Yeah. So after I talk about so many change and what's happened with our brain when we're getting older, we're going to talk about how the products that Brain Recall Gold that can help you about this. So Brain Recall Gold is a product that we just launched this just recently launched, and it's a brain health product that consists phosphatidylserine, which is a very important nutrient that protects your myelin sheath. So basically, in the summary, it's prevent your brain from short circuiting, so getting information around correctly. And then the other nutrient we have is alpha lipoic acid. So alpha lipoic acid is a super strong antioxidant, and then it's much stronger than what we can get from vitamin C, vitamin E. And then usually these two ingredients, it's been hard to get enough from the source, from the food source. And then, so how this product do is they basically provide very strong antioxidant, like I said, because when the environmental pollution are very strong. There's a lot of stress and oxidative stress going on, and it can cause inflammation. The free radical around our life can cause damage to our brain. And then it also nourish the brain cells and then energize the brain function. Also, this formula, we actually specially research. We have clinical research behind this formula ongoing, and then it's patent formula. So we have invest a lot of research to understand what nutrients is really important, and then how it works. So that's basically how the product works. So, okay, in summary, it's a very busy slide, but in summary, basically, it talks about how this product works. So number one is promote brain function and memory performance. So it helps with the memory recall and helps with your long-term memories. So improve energy production because we have B vitamins. And then we have the alpha lipoic acid, which is a very strong antioxidant, and it protects the brain from the free radical damage. And then the phosphatidylserine, which I mentioned, we just call it PS because it's such a long name. And then it actually very important is all these ingredients are naturally occurring in our body, and then we actually usually get from food source, but we generally don't get enough, especially when we're getting older. So this ingredients support the learning and memory recall by protecting our myelin sheath, and then facilitate efficient messaging and transmission of the signal of our brain and neurons. So that's how the product works. So you need to try it.
Okay. And you were saying that obviously a good diet helps as well. So if you're gonna have a good diet and you want to take the supplements, do you have to take the supplements together with the food, like after meal or before the meal?
Usually you can take it with the meal.
With the meal
together, yeah.
Okay.
So and then it helps a lot for this formula. It helps the absorptions as well.
Yeah. Okay, you've got a few variants on the table, right? So the brain recall gold is what you spoke about, and this is your new.
Yes,
that's a new launch, right? Okay. But this omega high DHA, this is also good for the brain, right?
Yes, actually they facilitate each other. So the phosphatidylserine and DHA actually together. Yeah. I just heard Dr. Melanie say I'm just learning.
Okay.
It works with each other. So yes. And also our DHA is very high strength. So especially this particular formula, it contains 500 milligrams of DHA. That's quite a lot of DHA. Usually we can't get enough of DHA in our diet. So I'll give you an example. If you want to eat you have to eat at least about 100 grams of tuna, about 100 to 200 grams of tuna to get enough that omega-3. Sometimes it depends on variety as well. And then if you have to eat walnuts and that, even you need more. Yeah.
Okay. So you've got the omega high DHA, you've got the B, and then this one has both, right? At the omega DHA, and it's got the B.
This one does not have the omega inside, so
so you should
take together.
I got it.
And I just want to mention an interesting thing is you might want to know what food sources are good for phosphatidylserine, because we've always discussed how important it is. Yeah. And it's actually widely found in the offals. And then
the insides of animals.
Bug weighs up.
I don't like
the sauce. So, but the problem is when you're eating a lot of, those food that contains high amount of phosphatidylserine actually high in cholesterol.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it high in cholesterol?
Exactly. So it's very hard. Like I say, it's very hard. So you have to eat 100, in average, 100 grams of the offals, which is the organs of the animal organs.
Okay, I think I'll take the supplements. Can I have one later?
300 milligrams. So it's very hard to get that
Yeah.
amount while you have to not to avoid. So that's why the importance of supplement comes in.
Okay.
And yeah.
That's why we're here to tell you all about it. And I was peeking at all the comments, and I think many people have questions. So, Tess, first of all, thanks for sharing your insights. So we will wrap up the panel of experts, and we will now proceed with the Q&A section. And I know that some of you have more questions, so this is your chance to type it into the comment section right now, because we are going to answer them. Okay. Marjorie, hi Marjorie, how are you? You say my HDL all the way is higher than the recommended range, but my LDL is also high. So the question is, so many, like, just short form. And the question is, can my high HDL make up for the high LDL? And who is that question for? I would say Dr. Kenneth Ng, right? Okay, what is HDL and LDL again?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So just to recap, HDL refers to the good cholesterol and LDL refers to the bad cholesterol. So some people believe in the yin and yang thing. So if you get a high good cholesterol, then you can sort of like neutralize the bad cholesterol. But it really doesn't entirely work that way, because the focus is still on the bad cholesterol. So if your bad cholesterol is high, then that's something that we are sort of like want to concentrate on and worry about. So that's something that we want to lower. The good cholesterol does, to a certain degree, protect against the bad cholesterol, because it helps to remove some of the bad cholesterol from the arteries and move it back to the liver. But by and large, the LDL, the bad cholesterol goals are definitely more important than the HDL goals, which are usually a secondary goal rather than a primary goal. So a bad cholesterol is still very important.
Okay. Marjorie, I hope we answered your question. If you have any more questions, just let us know. Pinky Song Tai Ying, you say, is sashimi considered bad food for cholesterol? This one I can answer because I've been listening to the experts, but I'm not going to that. Who would like to answer this? Is sashimi considered bad food for cholesterol? I suppose Dr. Kenneth, right? Because you're talking about cholesterol. Let me guess, scallop is not very good.
Yeah. So I guess it depends on what type of sashimi you're talking about. If it's all the nice fatty fish like tuna or salmon, or even whatever kind of fish, I think most fish usually have omega-3 fish oils. Some are higher, some are lower, so they tend to be much more healthy. Certain other types of sashimi may not be that healthy, and if you have squid or certain kinds of scallop or certain type of shellfish, then that may contain more bad cholesterol, and that may not be as healthy for us if we eat too much of it, I guess.
Okay, Frankie, you said that earlier on, Dr. Kenneth said it depends on how long high cholesterol stays in a person. You said that in your slides. So at what age would you consider a person at high risk? Like, for how long have they had high cholesterol?
Yeah. So that study was actually looking at people starting from age of 45 and to the end of their life. So I guess if you're male and you had high cholesterol for at least 10, 15 years, I think you're probably at a much more exposed to the high cholesterol, and definitely probably at a higher risk of developing cholesterol deposit in the arteries. So if you had a long history of being exposed to cholesterol, as well as the aging process as well. So if you look at being exposed to it for a long time plus the aging process, that those combined together will cause more cholesterol to build up in the arteries.
Jared wants to know, is eating food with high cholesterol the cause, or is it sugar? Does, Dr. Kenneth?
Well,
Does sugar cause high cholesterol?
Well, sugar adds to the calories and it may be converted to fat, but it's not really directly converted to cholesterol. So I wouldn't really consider taking a lot of sugar would really increase the bad cholesterol significantly.
Okay, Charlene, what is the difference or functions for DHA, EPA, and ALA? What is ALA?
Linoleic acid.
Oh, okay. Who wants to answer this?
Linoleic.
Dr. Phuah, do you want to answer that?
I just want to clarify, when you say ALA, I assume you are referring to alpha lipoic acid. Then the DHA and EPA, you're looking at the omega-3s. Basically, we need both DHA and EPA because we want to represent what we're eating through our supplements too. Therefore, the first two are omega-3s, the second one is alpha lipoic acid. And it's basically alpha lipoic acid is a very good antioxidant to help with oxidative stress in our body. And the omega-3s are more into the anti-inflammatory, also with the antioxidant function.
Okay. I hope that answered your question, Charlene. Kim Yong, does a lack of vitamin B12 affect the brain? That's what you want to ask. Does a lack of vitamin B12 affect the brain? That's quite a specific question. Huh? Anybody want to answer that?
I'll try. So vitamin B12 is involved in a lot of our nerve health. So yes, I would say it does affect our nerve, especially with patients with alcoholic issues. Where they lack vitamin B12, you do find that there's something called encephalopathy, which is a dysfunction of the brain. Thank you.
Okay. So you must take vitamin B12 basically.
Your body makes some to be good probiotics.
Okay. If I, Julian, you say if I take Ultra Brain Recall Gold, do I still need to take omega-3 supplement?
Yes. So our recommendation is Brain Recall Gold does not have omega-3 inside. It has the two important ingredients: is the phosphatidylserine and the lipoic acid and the 3Bs. So it's beneficial to take the omega high DHA together, because it creates 1 + 1 greater than 2 effects. So it's recommended actually.
Suen, you ask, how does plant stenols or sterols, I hope I'm saying this correctly, help with cholesterol? I'm sure that's for Dr. Kenneth.
So plant sterols are basically phytosterols. So basically they are plant cholesterol, right? And they bind to the same receptor as animal cholesterol. So what happens is that these plant sterols will actually displace or will prevent the absorption of animal cholesterol from our gut, and it helps to lower the bad cholesterol. Some studies show about 10%. Yeah, so plant sterols are actually available as I told Jamie earlier, in a kind of a spread that you can buy from the supermarket. It's called Benicol. So that has a lot of plant sterols in it.
Sue, you've got a question about something plant related as well. Is plant-based meat a healthy option? I think this is probably when it comes to brain health and heart health. So who wants to take this question? Is plant-based meat a healthy option?
I'll let the dietitian.
I'll give it a try. Yes, I think there's nothing wrong with plant-based meat, and the plant-based meat in general mixed with soy, made with soy products. And then, you better check the soy product, because everyone has a different health conditions. For example, if you have gout or you have other health condition, you might not able to take too much soy. So just be careful on that. But other than that, plant-based alternative, or it could be a good alternative to meat. And then, when it comes to diet, we always say you want to take, 20% is meat and 80% of vegetable. And remember the plate that doctor showed you, that actually your meat should be only about quarter. So yes, definitely it's good alternative.
And it's better for the environment. Watashi, can a person who, you ask, can a person who is on cholesterol pills consume hypercol? If can, how does hypercol help or work on a person with cholesterol? Is it better and safer to seek the doctor's advice. Watashi, Dr. Kenneth Ng here is a doctor. He's a cardiologist. So yes, Dr. Kenneth Ng, please advise.
Well, I think it's no point to take both hypocol and a cholesterol drug together because they have similar modes of action. So, as I mentioned earlier, hypocol is a weaker version of the cholesterol drug. It's naturally occurring as produced by the red yeast rice when it ferments. So, if you're not planning to take a cholesterol medication, then I think a hypocol could be a alternative to help lower the bad cholesterol. But if you're already on a cholesterol medication as prescribed by the doctors, then I don't see any point in adding hypocol to help lower it further. And the problem with adding hypocol to a cholesterol drug is that it may cause more interactions and possibly side effects related to cholesterol medication. So it may not be very safe to combine the two together. I guess it's probably better to ask your doctor who's giving you the cholesterol drug for more advice on what you should be taking, whether you should be taking an alcohol or the cholesterol drug. And I'll leave it as that.
Okay. Joy, I think this is also for Dr. Kenneth. Why is a calcium score scan not part of routine health screening or highly recommended by cardiologists, since this is the gold standard to reveal if our arteries are blocked? Doctor?
Yeah, well,
He's thinking. Sorry. Give him some time to think.
Well, I do recommend the calcium score scan to a lot of my patients. And I think if you look at the American Heart Association health prevention guidelines, calcium score is definitely a class 1 or 2A indication, which means it's it has enough evidence base to recommend it to be a screening tool for coronary heart disease. So I think a calcium score is a good test, and I think it should be recommended by more cardiologists. The only downside is there's a little bit of exposure to X-ray radiation. All right, so maybe the radiation that you can get from a calcium score scan is probably equivalent of radiation from 20 to 30 chest X-rays. So I guess we could recommend a calcium score, but we probably won't want to do it too often. Maybe once every couple of years to check on the health of the arteries.
Julian asks, is taking statin long-term bad for the liver? Is it? Yeah, you. Definitely you. Definitely not me.
Okay, well, any statin can cause side effects, and one of the possible side effects is basically inflammation of the liver, and it can cause the liver enzymes to go up. So, if you are taking a statin, then your doctor should check the liver enzyme at least once or twice a year to make sure that the liver enzyme has not gone up. And if it doesn't go up, then it's not going to cause any damage in the long run to your liver, right? But if it goes up, then, well, you may have to adjust the dose, you may have to reduce it, or you may have to think of an alternative.
Patrick, where your question is going to be the last one that we'll answer tonight. Can I stop taking cholesterol drugs if my cholesterol levels get back to normal? Does it? It can go back to normal, right? Obviously.
Yes.
And then once you go back to normal,
of course, when you take the cholesterol drug, you would expect the cholesterol level to go down to the target level, and this target level differs for different people. As I said earlier, if you're low risk, your level is higher. If you're very high risk, your level is very much lower. But the problem is with all these medications is that they do not cure the problem. That means they block your liver from producing the cholesterol. But once you stop taking it, your liver starts to produce the cholesterol again, and the cholesterol level bounces up pretty quickly within sometimes as fast as 1 or 2 days. You can see the level really bouncing up. And I always use this to, I know when my patients' cholesterol is bad that they haven't been taking their medications because, it's quite obvious.
Okay. I think many of us have high cholesterol. So we've had so many questions for Dr. Kenneth. But guys, thank you so much for answering all the questions and for sharing your insights. There are great deals on the products that we have talked about today, bearing in mind that these are products that can help with your heart and your brain health. So let me start. Well, first of all, let me just let you know that the promotion starts from tomorrow, 27th May, till 16th June at all Unity stores. And for those of you who picked up the $10 Unity e-vouchers, good for you. You can use it on these items. So on Hypercall, there is a 25% discount on the Hypercall red yeast rice. The retail price is $118. The discounted price is $88. Promotion starts tomorrow till the 2nd of June. Okay, and we move on to Active Health. Active Health, of course, the company that brings an FML brand brain formulas, brain formula liquids, and the brain formula capsules. And they also do the probiotics that you see on that table. There is a 20% discount on FML brain formula. That's the 240 capsule bottle. The retail price is $98. The discount price is $78.40. The FML brain formula liquid is also on a 20% discount if you buy 2 bottles. The retail price is $38.80 for 1 bottle. The discounted price for 2 bottles, $62. Okay, promotion starts from 27th May to 16th June. And Black Moss is having a mega discount as well. There is a 13% discount on Black Moss Omega High DHA. That is a 60 capsule bottle. The retail price is $54. The discounted price is $37.80. The Black Moss B Performance Complex is also on a 30% discount, and the discounted price is $34.30. Promotion starts tomorrow until the 16th of June, so hurry up and visit Unity stores to purchase these products. Thank you so much for joining us, and I had a peek again at all the questions coming in. I have to say that many of you have so many questions, and I regretfully we can't really answer all the questions today. So if you have other pressing questions, please, visit your doctor. That would be the best thing as well. Okay. And of course, if you want more information about heart and brain health, you can rewind this Facebook Live video and watch it again. That's the beauty of everything's online, right? Thank you so much to my speakers, to Kenneth, Melanie, and Tess for coming in on today's panel. And thank you to you for watching as well. Like and share this video and continue to come on the Unity Facebook page for more updates. Have a great Thursday evening and a great weekend as well. And I guess I'll see you when I see you. Bye.